Hi everyone, I'm Tanaka, your tutor today for Math Grade 2, and our topic is time. So I'm going to teach you how to read time, what is a minute hand, what is an hour hand, what are hours and what are minutes, and all those things. So to start first, I'm going to show you what we mean by face of the clock. So you see this circular here that I drawn here with numbers and arrows in between. This is what we call the face of the clock. So I'm going to label here. You see this right round here is called face of the clock. So I remind my marker. You see? Perfect. And then all these numbers you see in here, in between this circle, inside the circle, from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. These are what we call hours. These numbers, they represent hours. So I'm going to label the numbers here. Numbers represents hours. See? Perfect. And you see these tiny numbers in between numbers here, in between our hours here, from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up until 12 again. These are what we call minutes. They all together, they are 60 minutes, which means 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. We'll talk about that later. So these tiny numbers in here, inside our face of the clock, they are called minutes. So I'm going to label here tiny numbers represents minutes. See? Perfect. Let's move on. You see these two arrows in here, the one pointing at 12, the longer one, and then the shorter one pointing at 1. So the shorter one here pointing at 1. This is what we call the hour hand. So I'm going to label it here. Hour hand. See, like this? Perfect. And then you see this longer one here pointing at 12. This is what we call the minute hand. So I'm going to label it here. Minute hand. You see, like this? It's perfect like this. So basically this is the face of the clock. This is all that consists of the face of the clock. So you see this whole circle here is what we call the face of the clock. And then these numbers here from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These numbers, they represent hours. And then these tiny numbers in between here, they represent minutes. That's what we call minutes. And then this longer here, this longer arrow here pointing at 12, this is what we call the minute hand. And the shorter one here pointing at 1, this is what we call the hour hand. So basically this is all about the face of the clock. So let me erase here. So now I'm going to teach you how to identify time. You see it here. So you see, our minute hand, remember this longer one is our minute hand, is pointing at 12, and then our hour hand, remember the shorter one is the hour hand, it's pointing at 1. That means it's 1 o'clock. So whenever the minute hand is pointing at 12 and then the hour hand is pointing at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. It means it's an o'clock. So how we write our 1 o'clock? We write it like this. 1. And then you put 2 dots between our hour here, which is 1, and then our o'clock, which is these two numbers, they represent minutes. So it's 1 o'clock. So you write it like this all the time. So let us do another example. Our hour hand is now pointing at 2. So our time is 2 o'clock. You write it here. So I'm just gonna use another marker so that you see properly. You see, 2 o'clock. Always, always, always put these 2 dots in between the hours and the minutes. You see, like this. Sorry, mind my markers. It's 2 o'clock like this. And then let's do another example. Our hand is pointing at 3 here. So what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. So we write here 3 o'clock. Always put these 2 dots here, and then you write like this. So always put these 2 dots here in between the hours and the minutes. So let's do another example. Our hand is pointing at 6 like this. So what time is it? If our hour hand is pointing at 6 and our minute hand is pointing at 12, what time is it? Yes, it's 6 o'clock. Then we come here, we write our 6 o'clock. As always, you put these 2 dots here, 6 o'clock, like this. So this is all how you say time in every o'clock, right? So I'm going to erase here, and then so this is all about how you call time in every o'clock. So our time direction, it moves in what we call the anti-clockwise direction. It moves from 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is what we call the clockwise direction. When we say the anti-clockwise direction, it means it moves from 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 12. That's not how we count time. So we count our time in clockwise direction, which is from the right to the left, like this. You see, from 12 here, our hand is pointing at 1. It's 1 o'clock. So what we call by clockwise direction, I'm going to put arrows here so that you see and understand. Like this. The arrows move like this. All the time, our arrows move from right to the left. That's what we call clockwise direction. And that's how we read time. We don't read time anti-clockwise, which is this direction. So when the arrows are pointing from 12 here, you see it's 1 o'clock, and then it moves here to, our hour hand moves here to 2, then it's 2 o'clock, it moves here to 3, then it's 3 o'clock, and then it moves here to 5, then it's 5 o'clock, it moves here to 8, then it's 8 o'clock, and then it comes back to 12. Then it's 12 o'clock. So our time, it moves what we call the clockwise direction. You see like these arrows here. It moves from the right to the left. If it moves from the left, like from 12, 11, like you see these red arrows inside here, that's what we call the anti-clockwise direction. So I'm going to label here. I'm going to label it here, the clockwise direction. And then these red lines in here are what we call anti-clockwise direction. And we do not count time, we do not read time using this anti-clockwise direction. We read time using the clockwise direction all the time, no matter what. So basically this is all about our time, the face of the clock, the minute hand and the hour hand, the hours and the minutes. So this is how our face of the clock looks like. So this is all about the time for today. So up until we meet again next time. Thank you. Bye.